Right.
See how I can kind of match it into place?
Yeah.
So you could literally go through and try to match it exactly to the. Yeah.
Okay. So we hear the gray, but you don't edit it. And that's not editable.
Exactly. Yep.
Got it.
And it's only editable when you have the red on.
Right. And show me again how you like see all the tracks.
All the tracks you would do a shift. So you would do basically start at the bottom here.
Yeah.
And do, I think it's shift up to here, and then I'll show you all of them. And it looks like with
so
12 people.
So that's everything.
Yeah, that's 12 people, and they're of course all over the map.
Right.
But you could, I mean, it's a little kludgy, but you absolutely could, you know, it's a little bit easier because you can drag everybody into the correct pitch.
Now I'm curious. That's where I'm going to experiment and hear. Like, how does that sound?
Let's see. Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah. So you could use this as a starting point, and then finesse from there.
The thing is, we want to keep it live sounding.
Right.
So we want to make sure we don't overdo it.
The thing is with this particular score, it's probably going to be a lot of just going to do that. But what I would say is start with maybe 2 at a time, 1 at a time, and then once they're all together, you can look at them all and see if there's anybody that's vastly. There's a good display to see if anybody's vastly different, or vastly out of whack.
Right.
The other cool thing is, I know you're on 10 there, you're not on 12, but in 10 or in 12, there's a commit feature, which means you don't have to print it back in real time, which is very cool.
Oh, so you can actually do Melodyne so you don't have to commit.
Yeah. So, for example, something like this. I got to figure out how to get
my 12 installed right.
You can right-click. So once you're done Melodyning, let's say we were done,
right?
You can basically right-click this here and hit commit, and it will make new tracks with printed audio.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like bounce in place in Logic.
Right. Can you show me that fader one more time? So that
totally.
Fader
So if we have, we have our mix here.
Yeah.
And based on the selection here, let's say we had a guide and a main.
Yeah.
If you're all the way over here, you're on the main.
Yeah.
If you're in the center, it's guide and main, so you're both.
And whatever the balance was,
Yeah, wherever you're on the faders.
Yeah.
And then all the way over is what they call the full arrangement. That means any track that's in Melodyne.
Welcome to the any track that's in Melodyne.
Yeah. And the cool thing is it's not just 3 settings, it's a fader. So you can mix between. So it's kind of stepping them out a bit.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
For monitoring, it's great because you can hear, like, let's say, oh, I want to match these 2 vocalists, but I want to hear more of what I'm working on.
Right.
You can put the fader kind of there, and then
awesome.
So you still hear them a little bit, but it's not totally there. Yeah, and then the other things are very simple. There's a whole bunch of new tools as far as like formant and harmonics, but you don't need any of those.
Right.
Then as far as putting new tracks in, transfer is super easy. You just basically select all and click those in, and it'll record all of them at the same time. Same rules apply with the old Melodyne. I would do a full pass of the the vocal. Like as you start the session, basically start at the beginning of the timeline and do that.
Right.
It does much better with meter changes. The old Melodyne was terrible with meter changes.
Right.
It was awful. The new one is much better.
Why do you feel like there's just a couple of vocals in it? Why do you feel like you need to run the whole thing? Why not just do it on the sections?
Well, what I would do, what I tend to do is, well, it depends. If it is just okay, we're just doing the ensemble here. Then yeah, absolutely, just print that, commit it, and just drag up what you need.
Right.
That's totally a great way to do it.
Right.
I would recommend just printing it all in, just so you have it there as an option.
Right.
So you have it there recorded. The other thing is Melodyne does not do very well punching in. So if you decide later that you can punch in a section, it doesn't do well with recording. Right. So I find it's better, even if you're only going to do a few lines that you know you're going to drop in, just take 5 minutes and print the whole track in. Because then you have a complete file of the whole thing.
Right.
Obviously, with it's the same as before. Obviously, if you need to have all your edits done, clip any done before you put that in there.
Right.
But yeah.
A question on the commit. Assuming I can get Pro Tools 12 installed, so like normally I would bus it to new tracks and print it.
So you don't need to do that anymore.
How do you do that?
What you'll do is you'll right click and hit commit, and then you can decide how you want that to be reflected. So usually for Melodyning, the best way to do it, or what I would usually do, is this. So I would insert after last track offline. You can hide and make it active, but in this case I'm going to do nothing. I want them just stack tracks below.
Okay.
So once you do that, what will happen is basically, once you do that, it's basically going to make new tracks. So it's going to render that whole audio.
Yeah.
I'll show you what it looks like.
Now, what is it rendering right now? Is it rendering all 12?
It's rendering all 12 of those vocal tracks, yeah. And it's doing it 16, 14, 13 times.
And 13 times
real time.
Right.
So it saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
So what I would do, and also what would be awesome for if you did this moving forward with these sessions, is cool. So here's our tuned vocals now.
Yeah.
So that reflected anything that was on the Melodyne.
So were those new tracks that were created?
Yes.
After we were before. I see.
Yep.
So
So here's what would be awesome.
Yeah.
Basically, I would do that. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. And then what I would do here is basically dupe the playlist. So
and then copy these back.
Yeah, and what I would do is just instead of a .01 like that, I would just do like vocal 1 T,
Tune,
T or tuned, just so we know what the playlist is,
and
then then drag those tracks out. Or as you mentioned, just drag the moment you know, just drag in the section you want there. So it just makes it a lot easier. So this is a much easier thing.
That's great.
Yeah,
I gotta get my Pro Tools 12 working. Yeah.
The other really cool thing I love about commit is it's actually undoable, which is crazy. I don't know how they did that, but it's you can like if you commit,
you can undo the commit.
Yeah, and it gets rid of the tracks. Like it goes back to it's really cool. So if you screw up or do something, you don't just create a ton of tracks. You can with having to delete them, you can do that. So that again, that's a right click and commit. What I would recommend doing actually this is even cooler. So if you what I would do is actually I'd have Pro Tools I'd have Pro Tools crash. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Right.
Actually, I don't want to open that one. I want to open that one.
Yeah, if you could also show me again that in the very beginning where you showed how you can put Melodyne on all 12.
Yeah, we'll do that from the beginning here.
Yeah, we have to start the Inkegi vlog.
That's right.
Inkegi
class.
Inkegi class.
All right, so we're good there. And then basically, what I would do is, this is what you're going to get sessions like back from Derek.
Yeah.
So again, first thing I would do is shift.
Yeah.
And then remove his plugins. So you can do shift option.
Shift option.
And then just do no insert.
Yeah.
Across. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because you can put them back on.
Sure.
And definitely make sure that there's no inserts when you're melodining.
Of course. Yeah.
It'll print it at the plugin.
Yeah.
So then you do shift option and Melodyne, and it will do it across all of them.
Shift option, Melodyne. Yeah.
That's everything that's selected.
Right.
Once you've done that, you want to go shift so that it grabs all the vocals, drop it into record, and then transfer from the beginning of the track.
Yeah. Right.
Once that's done, tune to your heart's content. What I would do on the end of the process is exactly this. So duplicate the playlist first.
Yeah.
Go in and quickly put like T. That's fine. T or tune is totally fine. I would do this before you commit, and there's a very specific reason. The reason is it's going to make the committed file name have the T in it.
Yeah.
Which would be super helpful, so we know what we're looking at.
Yep. Makes sense.
T. Right. So those are all our tune playlists now.
Right.
Once you've done that, let's say you've tuned to your heart's content, commit. We'll do nothing. So this would be basically no consolidation, no volume, no automation.
Yeah.
You don't really need the sends and the groups. You can do it, but in this case, we don't need it.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, you don't need it at all. Insert F, do nothing, and offline. And what that will do is just literally print the tracks down.
What other choices would you have other than do nothing?
You can hide and make an active, which is very useful. Let's say
you can hide and make the original.
Yeah, if you're or delete them or whatever, and that's useful if you're doing like an insert or something that you're printing.
Yeah.
But it's not super useful for tuning because we want to put it back in the main.
Exactly,
playlist.
in the main tracks.
Yeah, exactly. So what we are going to do is essentially do that, and then what I would recommend doing is once that's done. So now we have all the tracks. Just select all these.
Yeah.
And basically
drag it to our new playlist.
Yeah, exactly. So you can just copy that and then paste. And so that's the new tune, right? And so now what we'll get back, or what I will get back, is basically the main playlist.
Yeah.
And the tune playlist. Right on top of each other.
Right on top.
Now, when you're exporting these to me, what would be awesome, so to keep the session super organized, is just do this. So select these, just the tune playlist.
Yeah.
Go to File, Export selected tracks as new session. Copy the audio files because it will only take the audio from that's needed there. It'll only take your tuned audio.
Right.
And then once you've done that, you can basically save that as a session file for me. So for example, you can even make a new folder in your folder. Tune files. Yeah. So what I'll get back is so it'll look like this. So basically, let's do that right now. Actually.
Yeah, sure.
Tune vocals. So you will call this Welcome to the Rock. You can just call it tuned. It's fine. Export that, and what that will do is copy those over. It's a log song, so it's going to take a minute, but it'll copy the new files that I need. And then what we're going to end up with, which is awesome. I only had, I think I wanted this selected.
But when I committed the files originally, it did create the tune files anyway, right? So
correct.
Aren't I just creating dupes at this point, as opposed to just sending you the
You are, but this will be easier for me to import session data. I mean, you can do that if you want as well, and just grab the committed files. That's fine as well. I mean, whatever way you want to do it, whatever way ends up being faster is fine.
Well, I mean, it's fast for me to just send the session file and the tune files like I did with the whistle stuff.
That's fine. Yeah.
But
so in this case,
but if that makes it a lot more cumbersome for you, then
no. In this case, just send the committed. That's fine.
Right.
So in this case, yeah, what I would do in that case is just I would still export as I would still do that. So what I would do in that case is I would do save. I would do export selected tracks new session, just the vocals.
Yeah, and no audio.
No audio files. Yeah, right. And actually main playlist only. That's crucial.
Main playlist only.
So it's only the tuned.
It's only the tunes.
Because I have the other playlist.
But I have to be on the tune thing.
Yes.
I have to be on the right thing.
Yeah, on the right one. Right. So tuned vocals, I would do that.
Understood. Yeah.
And then that will be awesome. Yeah. And then tune.
Right. So then I'll have the session file.
Yeah.
And I send you
so that's cool.
Audio files.
Yeah. So then we can close this. Let me actually do a save as here.
Sounds great. That's all cool.
So we'll get rid of that, and then basically what you'll give me back is you will give me, and you can just make folders. Oh, awesome! And it saves the transfer files too. Or no, it doesn't. That's fine. Oh, the other thing to do is when you're done, just I want you to send. Yeah, you might want to send the. I don't know if you want to. If I want you to send the Melodyne files too.
That's gonna be a lot of files.
It will be. So yeah, just take the plugin off then before you do that.
Okay.
Remove Melodyne from the plugin.
Got it.
And then basically you'll create an audio files folder in here and send it back to me, if that makes sense.
That's all clear. Yeah.
And the benefit of that is this is just that. That's
just
all
that.
Yeah,
just
the tuned on the timeline.